Hi there. I'm at the SACHS Conference in Zurich, and I'm here with Markus from the Novartis Venture Fund. So it's a fund which was created in 1996, managing over $750 million. So I guess like 600 million euros. I guess like a question, like you have Novartis in your name. It's an obvious question to ask, like, is there not like a conflict of interest with the mother or your parent company? And how do you manage that on a daily basis?
Yes, we are a typical corporate venture fund, I would say. We are working out of corporate finance and report directly to our CFO, but we are in our operations completely detached from the parent organization. And of course, any confidential information that we receive at the Novartis Venture Fund, normally under a CDA, cannot make it over to the parent organization. And likewise, if we are invested and there should be a conflict of interest on the board, for example, because normally we have board seats in our investment companies, then we normally recuse ourselves. This is predominantly happening when you talk about a transaction where Novartis is involved. Also from a formal point of view, I think we could stay on the board, but in order to avoid this perceived conflict of interest, we then do not participate in the voting of a deal that may go with Novartis.
All right. And in 2016, what were like your major news for the like European biotech?
Well, 2016, of course, is still young. We have seen the downturn of the markets. We have seen this affecting biotech quite pronounced. Nevertheless, some companies went through an IPO, all of them in the United States. And with the current market, who has recovered a little bit, all of those companies are in the plus. There are certainly some exceptions. Editas is certainly a company to refer to here in this respect. And we'll see how it goes forward. But I think it's fair to say that the markets are going to be volatile for the foreseeable future. There are some external factors that we cannot impact on or influence, like the US elections. And once there is more clarity in the markets, I think we will have again a situation where we can look to IPOs. But I also believe, and that's my personal view, that M&A and BD activity will go up as the valuations have come down somewhat.
Yeah, that was interesting on your panel this morning. You talked about like the valuation in the US were like going back to normal or decreasing. What's your view today, and how do they compare like to Europe?
Yeah, I think Europe has somewhat lower valuations than in the United States, and that is tied in, I think, into various factors. Like, for example, exit markets, but also heterogeneity of markets and constraints that you have in Europe that you may not face in the United States. And as a consequence, the execution of good science, which certainly exists in Europe, is much more difficult than in the United States. To move also it speaks to management teams. To move somebody from Sweden to Spain is much more difficult, including the family, is of course much more difficult than moving somebody from the East Coast to the West Coast, or vice versa.
Great. Then thank you very much for your time, and enjoy the rest of the day.